So in summary, events are ways that we can react to what's going on with a user. Events will provide specific details about what happened in that event. Which key did I press? Where exactly did I click? What item changed? And listeners allow us to register and tell the browser, hey, I need to know when click happens on this element because I'm going to do something that's very important for my user. So make sure to let me know. And then from that point forward, the browser will notify you when that particular component is clicked or it changes or the user mouses over it or whatever you are interested in. So with that, thank you so much, and I hope that y'all stay safe and healthy. Are there any questions in the queue that we can address?
I can read the comment that we just received. In some cases, I found the case to hide or show many items, for example, 15 or more, and regions, and duplicate the same 3 or 4 times based on condition. What's your recommendation on this case, for example? Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess if I'm understanding that correctly, sometimes what happens is you almost run into a situation where, let me just open this up and go here. Sometimes you run into a situation where I have to create a dynamic action that is going to toggle something on the page, but I have to come down here to my client side condition. And so I'm going to say, you know, when some item equals some value, but I'm going to have to create almost this exact same condition or this exact same dynamic action with a slightly different condition that's toggling different elements or hiding and showing different elements. At least that's, if I understood the question correctly, I think that's what it's asking. So sometimes what you can do is you can actually remove, and this depends what you're hiding and showing, but you can actually completely remove this condition, and instead you would here in your true action, you would have to go to execute JavaScript code. And what you could do here is you would have your cascade of rules. And just remember that there's a fantastic API that we can use. It's apex.item. And if you're just hiding and showing things, then you can use apex.item.hide to hide a particular item. So I'll say whatever p2, what I call it, name, I think. So that would hide that item. And conversely, if I need to, I could say show, and it would show that item. And you might be asking, well, how is this any different than if I used the jQuery equivalent to these things, p2 name dot hide as well as p2 name dot show? Well, just remember that the jQuery version of this isn't aware of the intricacies or the relationship between the different elements that make up that particular item. So this interface is aware of complex items such as, say, a shuttle. A shuttle is several inputs working together. This will effectively hide and show a shuttle without problem. This isn't going to do exactly what you had anticipated. So you might actually have to write some JavaScript to hide and show here. Beyond that, I don't have a quick sample that I can copy and paste for you, but that's how I would approach that. And in case I didn't make it clear enough, you would have to write some sort of if that evaluates the value of an item. So we'll say value my item really equals some value, and then you'd be able to toggle and hide and show here. I hope that provided some insight there.
Thanks, Tice. Other than that, there was a one sec. We got a comment on that one as well. Okay, no, she's just commented that sometimes you have to go element.parent.parent.parent to get a table header or something along these lines in the directory reports. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
if you need to climb the DOM tree and you're using jQuery, actually the best way that I would do that, rather than saying parent, 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 if you know what you need to get to, you can be at a table data. And so we'll say, be at a table data. And you can actually, there's an API called Closest. And Closest will climb the DOM tree and it will look for some selector that you specify. So if you happen to know that you're looking for a table header, maybe there's actually a class that you can look at called, table header class, and you could look at that. Or maybe if it's an element, you could say thead, and it's going to find the closest thead for you. So that's I like using this instead of all of the nesting of parents, because now if your structure of the HTML changes, well, now your JavaScript's going to break because you were expecting there to be a certain number of parents before you got to that point. And then the last thing that I would say is I also instead of binding to elements, I think it's always much better to bind to classes. So I would say, my cell that I'm interested in and my head, or wherever it is that you're trying to go. And so if things change and adjust in Apex, hopefully you should have some ability to adjust where exactly those classes are, and your code can be a little more resilient.
perfect. Thanks, Thijs. Again, just a note that all recordings will be available on our website. So just keep an eye on the URL that I've shared with you, and I will try to get it as soon as possible there. So all good. There's some more questions coming in. One sec, Thijs. Thanks very much. Is there a complete JavaScript reference book or video for Apex that we can recommend, for example? That's one of them.
I don't have anything off the top of my head, but we will be producing more of these videos, and that's something that we'll take into consideration. But we are at time now, so I think it's probably time to close it down.
Perfect. No, sounds good, Thijs. Thank you again for presenting, and thanks everybody for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Stay safe and healthy out there, everyone. Bye for now.